You know what time it is? It's time for me to voice my opinion and get angry about Ireland. Just to make it clear, I of course was looking for apartments in Dublin as well with my now wife Diana, and it definitely wasn't easy. Some landlords must prefer and have priorities to Irish people. I didn't meet any of them personally. That's a topic of its own. We can talk about that another time. The xenophobia and the preference to Irish people. That's coming. I think the way it's going right now is very unfair, especially since that all the politicians, they don't want to change it, and the people that actually could change it don't notice it as much as students who, if they don't have a place, they'll be sleeping on the streets, while lots of Irish people have the safety of their cousins or their parents or their grandparents' house. It's a lot easier for an Irish person to Vivian Porai. Just directed towards those people, the very narrow-minded, xenophobic people that want to just blame all of their life's problems on immigrants. I have unfortunate news for you if you are one of those people. Those people just have to face facts that they don't want to work. They want to stay living in their government-given houses or stay in their parents' houses, constantly blaming everyone else apart from themselves. It's very easy, you know, it's blissful ignorance right there. Coming back to the landlord situation, since there are no major standards in, you can have a shed outside your garden and charge 2,000 per month. There's no standards in that. There should be, because there are so many places that they offer such little utilities, such little rights, such little space, and they demand such high prices. And it's not only Brazilians going through this, there are Polish people, there are people from Japan, India, they're all going through the same issues, and people, Irish people, that are trying to find places. It's not just a specific thing where only Brazilians are affected, it affects everyone. But it doesn't affect the landlords that have multiple houses getting lots of money, and they don't even need to work. They just stay at home doing whatever and just wait for their rent to come in, and then they live off that. And if they want, they can invest and buy more houses, and it's a never-ending cycle. And I'm only saying that to bring awareness to it. I'm not trying to scare anyone from their dreams of going to Ireland. Please, no. If you want to go to Ireland, you can go. Just be aware. Be very self-conscious not to spend too much money in the first weeks, because sometimes landlords can ask for 2 deposits in advance, and it's very expensive, as you can imagine. I'm just trying to show you guys, if you had the opportunity to go to Dublin and you weigh that up against maybe going to Tipperary, what would you choose? There is pros and cons to every single option. Dublin, more jobs, more Brazilians, more shops, more everything, but it's more expensive. Tipperary, much smaller town, so you don't have many shops, you don't have many communities, maybe you don't even have Brazilian shops, but it's cheaper to live. Do you think you can get a job in Tipperary? Or do you think you can get a job that will be able to suffice or to pay your day-to-day life in Dublin? That's something that you have to weigh out, because if you can live in Dublin, that's great. But if not, maybe you think it's too much, consider the other counties as well. The most important part that I'm trying to say, what landlords are doing, it is completely driven by greed, and it's something that has to change. The people that can change this country maybe aren't entirely aware of what's going on. They might know of it. They might say, oh yeah, I know it's hard, but it kind of dies off there. Their experience with renting, with going to flats, going to apartments, it's non-existent or very, very minimal. There are some landlords that even charge people to come to look at their houses. That is ridiculous. That should be illegal, if it isn't already, of course, which I don't think it is. We have allowed this to go on too long. This isn't something okay, and I'm not recommending as a chance to revolt that you leave your houses and sleep on the streets. Don't do that, because, you know, it might not even work, you know, and people will complain and probably say, oh, look what the Brazilians are doing, because, you know, they're very ignorant, you know. That's something we don't want, but we do need to start conversation. This is horrible. It's going to keep getting horrible until the bubble pops. What will happen then? Will there be a housing crisis again? Will there be a recession? Will all the students decide Ireland is terrible, I don't want to be here anymore, and lots of people leave? What will happen then? That's something that we can try and fix. before this happens. And to make things worse, a landlord can turn around and say, you know what, how long have you been living in my house? More than 2 years? Well, I'm glad you liked it. I'm going to do some renovation. I'm going to put some paint and thing. You have to leave. And then they can just throw you out of the house, renovate the house, which they don't have to. They can just say they're renovating the house and bring up the price for anybody else. So the next person coming in will pay more. That's insane. It is. I don't understand how this is legal. And I know that there's ways to kind of pull them up. I believe it's the PRTB, but I mean, come on, it's not fair. It's not just. There's not enough power behind these rules and laws. They're too weak. They need to be stronger, well thought through and planned, because this is something that's happening now, a problem that will keep getting worse. And just like about the problems of the nanas in Ireland, pushing it under the rug will not solve the problem. Whew, let's breathe. Just wind down a bit there. The most important part is to just be aware. You actually do have some laws in your favor. As a tenant, you do actually have laws. I don't think there's enough. Landlords won't teach you. The less you know about the laws, the more control they have over you. And that is what they want. They want to make sure if they decide to jerk up the price, that you won't say anything. You won't even think it's wrong. And that is what's wrong. You need to know your rights. Try to study a little bit if you can. Talk to a friend. Bring the conversation up. Because maybe if enough people talk about it, that maybe more landlords will realize they should be careful, because maybe they might get reported because what they're doing and abusing these students and people looking for a place to live is completely wrong. And honestly, I just want a better Ireland for everyone. This is my dream at this stage. Olha, espero que você gostou desse vídeo. Olha, não tô saindo ainda. Não sai agora. Espera aí. Olha, se você quer me ajudar, com esse vídeo, com essa situação que está acontecendo na Irlanda, principalmente em Dublin, enviar esse vídeo para seus amigos. Pessoas têm que falar sobre isso. Mais pessoas falando sobre isso. Mais, você sabe, atenção sobre esse problema. Pode ser mais irlandeses vão saber também. Se você tem amigos irlandeses também, fala com eles. Fala, porque às vezes eles não sabem. Eu conhecia muitas pessoas irlandesas que não sabia que tinha um problema tão grande em Dublin. Eu só quero Irlanda e Dublin melhorar para todo mundo. Não é só para estudante, não só para irlandeses, para todo mundo. Tamo juntos. A gente pode melhorar essa situação juntos, viu? Muito obrigado de novo e até a próxima. Fique ligado.